What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more. Hi, everybody, and I guess welcome back to Advice from a Call Center Geek. I'm about to leave my office here on Christmas Eve. It's 3:18 on the East Coast. I just wanted to take a second and give a heartfelt thank you to all of you who have been listening. I cannot believe, and I know I kind of recount the story, but you know, the first podcast was done on December 17th of last year. I just re-listened to it yesterday. It was terrible. I then recorded a podcast on Christmas Eve, kind of morning, like 11 o'clock after you're kind of done wrapping presents. Kids are getting ready, taking baths. Recorded my first call center game podcast. We had 4 of you, and it was probably my wife, my daughter, my mom, and one of my friends that were listening in during that time a year ago. Since that time, hopefully, you know, we've provided some pretty cool content, and from some of the feedback and reviews that we're getting, you know, I'm very proud of what we have been able to do here with the podcast. So we're a year, literally almost a year to the day of the inception of Advice from Call Center Geek. We have almost 16,000 downloads of the podcast. Each episode is getting right now almost 600 listens. So it's amazing what we've done in a year, and obviously it's with your help, and hopefully we've been able to provide you guys some actionable items, as we say, to actually help your contact center. I wanted to stay away from fluff. I wanted to stay away from, you know, theory of customer support, and, you know, really talk about on-floor agents, supervisors, management, technology, the things that you guys deal with every single day. And I think we've done that, and it's shown that there is a need for content like that. So we are not stopping this podcast. This podcast is going to take it to the next level. We've just hired our chief fun officer and also kind of our social media content creator. She's going to be kind of tweaking the podcast, some openings, making sure that it's a little bit more professionally done. I'm excited about that. Still never going to lose the kind of the roots of me just kind of talking. I'd like to bring on some guests. I know a lot of really cool people in the industry that are smarter than me. I'd like to have them on as well to kind of help some of you out there, and also help myself with some of the concepts and some of the things that they do in their center. So just real quick, you know, we have the podcast. The podcast is going to continue. The podcast is going to grow. We're going to try to even do it a little bit more regularly. It'll at least be once a week, but we're going to have some, at least once or twice a month, to add in an extra podcast with some of the material that we want to do. As you know, we've done this year. We did 2 call center operations books. If you would have told me even 2 years ago that I was going to write a book, I would say you're crazy, let alone writing 2 in the same year. So now, again, to be fair, the second one is kind of a takeoff on the first, but we just added a lot more content to it. We tried to get our 3rd book done this year, which is 101 games to play in your call center, and that did not happen, which is a little disappointing. But we're pretty deep into it now. So with some help coming on board here from our another hire or 2 from our chief fun officer and content creator, we're going to really make that book really cool. And I'm going to try to give it to you guys all for free. I'm not going to try to charge for that book, especially for the first couple weeks. So anybody who's going to want that, and if you've been avidly listening to us, I'm just going to give it to you. It's been a lot of work, but I think it's going to be, I want it to be kind of the go-to for everybody out there for any kind of call center game. So again, that's coming here, hopefully first quarter, maybe springtime. We should have that done. The one new thing that we're really going to take off on is video. So we have a YouTube channel. Literally, it's in its infancy. When I mean infancy, there's like 5 videos on there. And it's just the Advice from a Call Center Geek YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. Is something that we're putting a lot of focus on in 2020. So every single day, we're going to do a daily call center tip. It'd be a 1 to 2 minute video that I think can kind of help you, or at least spur some thought with that. We're also going to take every single episode of the podcast. And I know a lot of you guys like to listen to the podcast, but there's a lot of you too that like to read it as well from the subtitles. So we're going to subtitle every single podcast. We're going to put it onto YouTube so that if you're ever in a room where you don't have your headphones and you can't listen, you'll be able to kind of read it as well. So that's going to be all on our YouTube channel as well, as long as some other kind of special things, such as when we go to conferences and things like that. I want to try to get some interviews with some really cool people that are more in the know. The one thing that has kind of fallen off for us because of all the things that we've done with the podcast has been the call center blog on the Expivia USA website. So that is something that we are going to get back into full action. You'll probably start to see some of the podcast episodes turn into blogs, and then we'll start to create our own content as well for that coming in 2020. So if you have not subscribed to our blog, I would suggest that you do. It's expiviausa.com/category/blog. And there'll be more on that too. And then kind of the, I guess, second to last thing is all of our social media assets. I please follow them. We're posting content on there. We're trying to get at least 20 to 40 pieces of content a day on all of our throughout our 5 or 6 different social media channels. So we have Advice from a Call Center Geek Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube account. We have a LinkedIn page as well. I also suggest and recommend that you follow me on LinkedIn. That's probably my main posting segment when a thought pops into my head, or if there's something cool that I find. It normally goes on LinkedIn first and then kind of makes its way all to the other channels. So again, my name is Thomas Laird. Just kind of follow me. I'm an open connector. So if you just say, hey, fan of the podcast, love to just follow you, just let me know, and I'll definitely make sure that happens. And I'd love to hear some things from you too, not just have a one-way street of kind of me talking. So again, check that out in 2020. We're also, I would highly suggest, again, I know I keep saying highly suggest, but I would suggest that you follow the Facebook page. We're going to start to live stream all the podcasts. We're going to start to do some live streaming as well on some of the things that we do, from training sessions and those types of things, meetings that we have, coaching sessions, even mock coaching sessions and trainings and things like that we're going to try to do and provide content for you to not only listen to it on the podcast, but to also be able to view it. So again, I would highly suggest that you kind of go to the Advice from a Call Center Geek Facebook page and like that. LinkedIn said I was not worthy yet of being a LinkedIn video person for live. I can do the videos, but I can't do live LinkedIn feed. So Facebook is kind of where we're at with that. And then the last thing with that too is and that kind of goes with the LinkedIn, is we're going to do some webinars too for the Facebook page. So not just kind of posting content, not just doing the Facebook Live, but also doing some, if there's a influx of a topic that everyone's really interested in, then I'll even be able to do a podcast and a webinar with that as well. So again, I love doing this. I love running my company. The organization is doing really well. I've always, when I was growing up through this, I always wanted someone there that I could kind of get ideas from, or I always had a question: how does somebody do that? And no one, if you wanted it, you had to pay for it from some type of consultant. So the whole plan and the whole goal of this is just to create content that I think is useful, is not BS content. Like if you have 3 posts of mine that you're like, oh my gosh, what is this guy talking about? I don't think you're going to find that. I think at least something you might disagree with, but it's going to make you think, especially if you are a call center on the floor worker, if you are a supervisor, a team lead, a manager, if you're in the QA department, if you're an executive running a customer service area in call centers, if you're a contact center vendor, manager. I think all this stuff can help you. We've had over 25 experience in the BPO scene, so it's not only just running the call center, but dealing with clients, dealing with vendor managers, dealing with a lot of the things that I know a lot of you are looking at and are worried about or not sure how to work. And hopefully we can come in here and kind of help you with some of that stuff. Again, I am open. I am an open book. As many of you know, anyone who has responded to me on LinkedIn, I do get back to. So if you have a question, if you have an operational question, if you're wondering how to deal with something with some of your QA or how should you do a coaching session, I'm an open book. I will definitely help as much as I possibly can. I will give you some material if I have some material on it as well. So again, please use me as a resource. I'm here for any of you fellow call center geeks. So that's all, guys. I just wanted kind of a year in review. And kind of where we've been, where we're going. It's kind of a time for reflection, I guess, since it's 2019. So thank you guys all so much. You've made this so much fun. I think I'm we're providing some value, and I think it's starting to show, which makes us feel really good. So again, if anybody has any questions, if there's a topic, if you'd like to even be on the podcast, shoot me a direct message or on LinkedIn, or shoot me an email. My email address is on LinkedIn as well. So again, Merry Christmas, everybody. I will be back later this week with a real podcast, not just kind of me talking to you guys about how things are. But I'd like to do this every once in a while too. So again, thank you guys all. Have a very Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.